Hello, and welcome to Spicy Toast Gaming.
Thank you for tuning in to another Spicy Toast gaming video, and today we're going to be covering the top 5 worst relics in the game. Now, by worst, I either mean they don't have any usefulness at all, seemingly, or they're ones that there's another relic that just is better in just about every situation. So that's kind of the breakdown of how we're going to be determining the worst relics. Obviously, this is my opinion. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. To start off, I just want to say that for Riot, if you're watching this video, you recently said that you are wanting to do balance changes to the relics. Please watch this whole video, and these are the relics I really recommend you buffing or changing in some way. Alright, to start off, I would like to focus on the Golden Spatula. Now, this is one of the few relics that I do not have, but even if I did have it, I don't think I would ever use it. So when I'm summoned, grant me 1/1 and a random keyword for every 30 cards that started in your deck. Now, this could be interesting, but in my opinion, the 30 cards is just too high. I have never really gotten to 60 cards, and so even when I've gone a little crazy, I'm usually not even getting 50 cards in my deck. So the fact that this is essentially just giving you 1/1 and a random keyword, I think is pretty terrible. If they changed this and made this down to like maybe every 20 cards that start in your deck, this actually could have some playability, but right now I feel like this is just useless and garbage. Next up, we have the Gravedigger Spade. Round start, draw 1, and give it fleeting. A interesting relic, and I would like to see them release some sort of champion that actually benefit from this. In general, we don't really have a good champion that can take use of this, at least in my opinion. I've never found a situation where I wanted to use this, and so really it just seems like a, in general, useless relic in my opinion. Never really found a good situation where this shines at all. Hopefully this is a relic that they either change in the future or they add a champion that really will synergize with this. It is an interesting design, which is important for a relic. It just doesn't actually do anything worthwhile for any of the champions we currently have, at least in my opinion. If you found a good use for this, please comment down below, let me know. I would love to use this. Just never found a situation where it would be helpful. Next up, we have Turret Plating. Your Nexus has Tough. This is another interesting relic, but one that I don't feel like has any good uses. If you're needing more survivability, I think either taking the Star Child Staff, Game Start Heal Your Nexus 5, or Guardian Angel, start with just an extra revive. I think either of these relics would just be a better choice in just about every situation than Turret Plating. If you're really struggling to get hit that often, you really need to either improve your game plan in some other way, or just use a better relic. Star Child Staff, really nice for healing you up every single round. Next up, we have the Collector. 1/1, and when I kill an enemy, you earn 50 gold. A interesting design, but I do think it is just too weak to really use. So if you want more stats, just getting something like the Bounty Hunter's Renown is going to work out much better for you. Or if you're trying to use this to actually generate gold, Heart of Gold is going to be getting you normally more gold, and you don't have to do anything. This is just passive. So the Collector, while it's interesting, I do think this needs to get buffed for it to actually be usable. So maybe doubling the gold to like 100 gold per encounter, that could work out really well. Yeah, interesting one, but I think it's just too weak to really use in-game. Up next for our honorable mention, we have the 2 standard stat relics, so the Fist and the Warhammer, both giving you 2 of one stat and 1 of the other. Honestly, if you need a stat relic, the Bounty Hunter's Renown is far better. The only benefit these have over the Bounty Hunter's Renown is that you're able to get a couple more stats in the early game in the first couple battles, but honestly, you need the stats more to finish out the adventure when you're taking up the final boss, whether that be normally Galio or Aurelian Soul. So you'd much rather have the extra stats with Bounty Hunters than the starting off of the adventure with a couple more stats. Really, you're only getting 1 extra power or 1 extra health from one of these from the very start of the game, and after that, the Bounty Hunter's Renown is just going to scale far better. So this is a situation where if you're trying to get extra stats, there's really no reason to take either of these if you have a Bounty Hunter's Renown. It's just going to be better in almost all situations. Last on the list for the worst relics, I'm actually going to put Star Gem. Allied champions have 1/1. I like what they're trying to go with this relic, but this relic has one major problem. You have to actually have your champion on the board for this to take effect. if you just have your champion in your hand and you have a couple star gems on them, this is not going to be buffing your champions. And so normally the point of this relic, at least in my opinion, is to focus on your support champions and not focus on your main champion. By needing your champion to be on the board for this to take effect really reduces the power of this relic, and honestly, just giving your allied champions 1/1 isn't that great. I feel like Guardian's Trinket does a much better job of adding random champions to deck and actually giving them a powerful item. This is much better if you're wanting to focus on a champion support build than Star Gem, in my opinion. I think if you want to make Star Gem usable, have this go off even if your champion's not on the board. Just your champion is passively giving this out to all the other cards, even if your champion is in the deck. That would be very nice. And I would actually like to see this maybe go to a 2/2. I think they did that. This would be a very fun gem to use. Obviously, it's never going to be the best relic in the game. It is more of a interesting sort of playstyle for you to try out. And so buffing it up to make that interesting playstyle more fun, I think would be a very good change of pace. Definitely one that I want to see buffed in the future. Alright, that's it for the worst relics in the game. Obviously, very subjective. Definitely comment down below with what you think the worst relics in the game are. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely like and subscribe. Hope you all have a great day.